Howdy folks, Greyhawk404 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. And this is my 2015 Games of the Year video. And we are currently in Metal Gear Solid 5. And so it's obviously on the list. I figured I'd start off with this one. My games of the year are in no particular order. I will talk about different categories, whether it be role-playing or first-person shooter, etc. But I will have a game of the year. So the other ones, there's no particular order. Like I don't do a countdown or anything else like that. I'll just talk about for that particular category. This was my choice, etc. So this is, of course, Metal Gear Solid 5. So to talk about the game. The reason this is on my Games of the Year list is because it is one of the best stealth espionage type games that I've ever played. That guy, how many shots is that guy gonna take? There we go. That right there, I have a suppressor on my assault rifle, and I was able to easily take this guy out without alerting anybody. And then if I wanted to, I could switch weapons. You automatically pick up ammo, or you can, and then you can also switch out your weapon. So generally, if I'll wait until my suppressor, if my suppressor dies on my primary, then I might swap it out for what might be a better weapon. But I definitely like to keep my suppressor as long as possible. So this game has a certain amount of sandbox elements to it, and when I say that, I mean you can kind of just go out and explore and everything. But it's also done in episodes where each mission you take is like its own little video, almost its own little movie, so that when you finish that particular quest, it actually has credits for that quest, because each one is directed separately from all the other ones and so forth. There's an overall story arc, obviously, but each mission is its own little compartmentalized piece of content. And then separately from that, you can explore and gather resources and take out additional threats that you just come across and that type of thing. So let's see if we can't. So I just put him to sleep. And then you have what's called a Fulton device. So I'm going to pick him up and I'm going to move him over here. Then I can use what's called a Fulton device, which is your little balloon thing there, which extracts him. And away he goes. And then he is picked up by a friendly aircraft, and then he can be interrogated or put to work at our base or whatever. So that's kind of a neat little element they introduced with this game, or at least I haven't played any of the previous Metal Gear Solids, so maybe it was in previous ones, but it's definitely cool in this one. And there he goes to sleep. Night night. I'm probably not going to extract him because I want to save my extractions. So see there, I got some resources. more resources. And then you have these different cassettes that you find that give you clues. You can listen to them. They give you clues and everything that help you complete missions, and sometimes open up other missions, side missions, that type of thing. Oh, I can actually extract that. That's kind of neat. I haven't done that before. So you can also extract vehicles. As you upgrade your Fulton device and so forth, I understand you can. There's another guy. You can extract big vehicles and things like that too. So I wonder if he's gonna go to sleep here. I may need to shoot him again. There he goes. So, the graphics in this game are awesome, as you can see. I mean, you can see the moonlight or whatever shining off of his weapon. You know, the detail is pretty good. I have everything set to ultra. My frame rates are good. So, overall.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
And then there's the whole management of your Mother Base here. So you can assign your development of what you want to develop, your R&D or your actual base development, support, all these different things. You can do the base facilities. You can manage all that stuff. So it is actually quite an immersive game, and that's another reason it's on my list. So you have, because I love stealth games, so it's a great stealth game. It's
Sun
a great
will rise momentarily.
It's a great sandbox exploration game, and it's got immersiveness. So it had to be on my list of games of the year. So that'll do it for this one. On to the next. Okay, so the next game on the list is Pillars of Eternity. And this is the game that Sword Coast Legends should have been. And the difference is that, unfortunately, Pillars of Eternity is not a Dungeons & Dragons game. It is a unique IP. It is very, very similar to the old Dungeons & Dragons titles such as Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, etc. However, it does not use any of the D&D rule sets. It has its own set of rules and so forth, but as you can see, it is very similar to an old school Dungeons and Dragons style computer RPG. And when I say that this is the game that Sword Coast Legends should have been, it's because Sword Coast Legends is a good game, and it is on this list, and you will see it in a minute. However, the problem is that Sword Coast Legends, they put the D&D label on it, and they also did not use the D&D rule sets. So, if you're going to do that, you should have done it better, like Pillars of Eternity did it. For one thing, you have 6 party members here. You can these are all ones that you meet along the way that I've picked up, but you can also at an end you can create all of yours completely from scratch. So there's my character. Let's see. There's Greyhawk, and but So I created him from scratch, and I could have done the same with all the other ones, but I used the NPCs that I met along the way. But you can completely customize it and create unique characters yourself. And I actually did create a couple of them. I just haven't. They're not in my party right now. So the rules of this game work very well, and the action is very good. Graphics are fantastic. There's very little game, um, other than the fact that it's not a D&D title, which is fine. It's its own IP. I would have loved to have seen it be a D&D title, but of course that's a licensing thing and all that. So let's see.
I trust all is well. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
So let's do this. Now right here, I'm in my stronghold and I'm managing my stronghold, and I just wanted to show you this, that in addition to going out and adventuring and everything, you do also have your own stronghold to manage and so forth, and you have missions and all that type of stuff. You have upgrades, you can add things, you can add all different types of things. I've got quite a bit completed. So you've got party manager. Oh, there, I can show you. So a couple of these are ones that I did roll myself. Petra I rolled, level 1 ranger. Christille, Keldar, those are all ones that I did myself. And then and so they're level 1. She's level 2. He's level 3. So I did use them a little bit, but I decided to go for this build. I decided to go with the pre-built, the ones that you find along the way. So anyway, game number 2, and I would say this is my role-playing game of the year, is Pillars of Eternity. I did not purchase Divinity Original Sin. I was urged by my subscribers and my viewers to try both of them. I mean, there was enough people on both sides that wanted me to try both of them, but I decided cost-wise I would just get one of them, and I got this one. I have no idea. Divinity is probably, from what I can hear, is just as good as this. However, because I didn't play them, this is my role-playing game of the year. And we'll see you on the next one. Okay, so now we're inside Sword Coast Legends. This is my honorable mention for role-playing game of the year. And if you have been watching since the beginning of the video, you know that Pillars of Eternity was my role-playing game of the year, and I said that that was the game that this should have been. And the reason being, number one, you can only make a party of 4 characters here. You do not have the choice of adding other characters that you have rolled besides yourself. You have to use NPCs that you find along the way, where with something like Pillars of Eternity, you have the choice of making your entire group yourself, that you have rolled up yourself. So that's just one little thing. The next thing is, it does not really use the D&D rule set at all. Everything is based on cooldowns, and I will give you a prime example of why that sucks. This ugly armor that I am wearing here, this is Valenthan armor, and the only reason that I'm wearing it as a rogue, I actually spent points to get medium armor proficiency so that I could wear something like this, because you can see there that it says 12% cooldown reduction. It's all about cooldowns in this game. So even though my rogue would never be caught dead in a piece of armor that looks like that, that's more for something that you might see a cleric wearing, or a lower level fighter, or whatever. But I'm wearing it because I want the cooldown reduction. And everything is gear based. It's not based on the D&D rule set. However, having said all the negative stuff, it is a fun game to play. it reminds me of kind of a hybrid between like Diablo 3 and let's say Torchlight or something like that, with maybe a little bit of D&D aspect thrown into it. So it is a fun game to play. There is a storyline. There's a lot of different sub storylines and so forth too. So from that standpoint, that's why it made the list as an honorable mention, because it is a fun game to play. It is worth the money that I paid for it. I did put in a lot of hours on it, so it is not 100% bad. It just should not have the D&D name attached to it.
Heads up!
Now let's see. I have not respect all my other characters because we're at a point now where we are supposed to all respect, and so we'll see. We're cutting through these guys pretty good here. So even without respecting everybody, so.
If I must.
Let's see. So that's just to show you a little bit of the action and the graphics and everything. So again, honorable mention for role-playing game of the year, with Pillars of Eternity grasping that award. On to the next game. Okay, next on the list is Game of Thrones, a game by the Telltale publishers. And as with every other Telltale game franchise out there, these are done episodically. So there are a number of episodes, the last of which for Game of Thrones, just came out in the middle of November. Episode 6. I have not played episode 6. I was all caught up, and then November hit, and for whatever reason I didn't play it, and then Fallout 4 hit, so I haven't been playing anything else but Fallout 4. So I will be playing episode 6. I will be finishing the game. But even with that said, the first 5 episodes were incredible. If you're a Game of Thrones fan at all, you really need to be playing this game, or you need to play this game. Because there is some crossover with the TV show, and I have not read the books, but I'm assuming that the content in this game is probably talked about a lot in the books, is my guess, because there's other families and stuff that are discussed that are you interact with and so forth, and are part of in this game. So I'm not showing any gameplay footage. I'm just doing this screen right here because anything that I was to show would probably be a spoiler. No matter what I was doing, there'd be something would be a spoiler for someone. So I don't want to do any of that. So I just wanted to talk about it. True, this game did come out in December of last year. However, because it is released episodically, most of the content was not released until this year. And of course, the final episode wasn't released until just last month. So it's definitely a 2015 title. So in case anybody was wanting to be technical about that it came out in December of last year, well, suck it up, Buttercup, because most of the content was released this year. So anyway, yeah, as far as it would, this one would have been vying for my game of the year, and it's that good, and I haven't even finished it yet. So I highly recommend it. It would be my adventure game of the year, but I don't think so I guess by default it is, but I didn't really play any other adventure games that came out in 2015. There was a couple other adventure games I had played, but they came out in 2014. And that was all standalone games. There was no episodes that released in 2015. So this would be my adventure game of the year and a contender for game of the year. See you on the next one. Okay, folks. So this is it. We have arrived at my game of the year. And it is of no surprise to
I can carry
anyone
something if you need me to.
that we're in Fallout 4. Anybody that follows me on Steam, follows me on my channel or anything, knows that this game has pretty much been consuming all of my time. All of my spare time, I should say, since it came out. I have something like between 125 and 130 hours logged on this game. That's insane. It's only been out for 2 weeks. So, the amount of immersiveness, I think, is what draws me into this game. The fact that when I'm in here, I don't think of work. I don't think of anything else. I'm just in this world. I'm in the wasteland, and I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to collect whatever I need to collect, scraps, whatever to work on my settlement. I'm trying to complete quests, and it is remarkably effective at immersing you into that world. So I'll show a little bit here of some. I think, yeah, there's a creature right there. I will show you a little bit of some combat here, and then we will go to my settlement, my new and improved settlement, that is. So because I was using a silencer, no one heard me.
I hear something.
You do? He thinks he hears something.
I'm hearing stuff. Someone there?
There we go, we'll get it better. Just stop for 1 second. Bye. Oh, there's another one. I'm gonna run out of my ammo on that one.
What was that?
Sooner or later.
And that's that. Ooh, there's a rad scorpion. Huh. See? I'm just sitting here shooting a video and run across these super mutants. And then next thing you know, to my right over there was a rad scorpion and the dude fighting him, and I just relieved both of them of their burden of existence. You know, it's a lot. It's a big burden to live in the wasteland like this, you know. So I just removed them of that, remove that burden from them. But I do need to go over here and get this rad scorpion loot, and then we'll go to my settlement. So, as you can see, that's a rad scorpion, and there's this stinger right there. So yeah, meat, egg, stinger. Those are all useful items. Let's see. I don't know where that other guy went. Oh, there he is. No, he didn't have much. So let's go to my settlement here. And let's see, there it is. So, as you can see there, that is how quickly this game can suck you into the world. Because I was doing a video, next thing you know, I'm fighting super mutants and mutant hounds, and then over to my right, I hear some combat going on, and independent of what I'm doing, there is a rad scorpion fighting that raider. And so luckily I was able to alleviate all those threats and then head over here to my settlement. So this is Casa del Greyhawk right here. This is the boathouse settlement, and as soon as I saw it, I can stand up now. As soon as I saw it, I decided, well, it was a nice boathouse here, but it had a collapsed roof. So I decided, well, I'll have to fix that. And so I started fixing that, and then next thing you know, I had to put on a sun deck with patio furniture and everything. And of course, I had to plant crops, and I had to put out a picnic table and all that stuff, and a grill and all that stuff. And then I've got, you know, the lake right here, the river right here, and I had to put up some defenses, you know, here, put some turrets up and so forth, and assign settlers, of course. See, this is the old roof here, right here, and I just had to fix the roof, put some ceiling fans in, and you know, that kind of stuff, and generators, and
got work to do. Can't talk now.
and then I got to put in. You got to put beds in. You know, whenever you have settlers, you got to put enough beds for everybody.
We
so
taught those raiders a lesson.
So and a jukebox. You gotta have a jukebox, you know. And so, you know, and then of course I had to create my own quarters for me and my companion. And of course I had to put a couple of suits of my power armor here. And then I have to have a little, you know, got to have a little balcony here to oversee the lake and everything. Nice view and all that. So yeah, that's the oh, and then that doesn't even begin to show you the like the roof and everything. I got to show you the roof, and because you know, you got to have your crafting stations in, you know, and everything in here as well. And so let's go up to the roof here. So if you go up to the roof, then I've got even more defenses. I've got more turrets and guard stations and so forth. But I actually have a piece of artillery too. I can call in airstrikes if I wish. So anyway, that is my settlement. And yeah, that's... Oh, and by the way, yeah, Bethesda... Yeah, the fact that in Elder Scrolls Online, you can't swim underwater and explore underwater makes no sense, because here I am in Fallout 4 and I'm doing the same. I'm doing that in here, and in Skyrim you can do the same thing. So there was no excuse for Elder Scrolls Online not having underwater exploration. So that was a pet peeve of mine. I just had to, you know, let me shut my gates here. I don't know why they keep leaving the gates open. You know. So, anyway. That is Fallout 4. Oh yeah, I had to bring a pool table, build a pool table and bring some pool balls in and everything. Yeah. That is Fallout 4. That is why it's my game of the year. I can't say enough about it. So, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the list, and go play some games. We'll catch you on the flip side.